is up, LEGO fans? Part 2 of making Messi. You can see the front of him has turned out very well. Last video I didn't do this, but I added a little 10 to the legs just for a bit more detail, and I think that really looks good. Just makes the shorts look a bit less plain, but it looks pretty good. It's dried. And because the painting's kind of like off in places, it kind of looks like a shirt would. If I just kind of touched the 10, I just recently added this there, so. Hello and what is up, LEGO fans? Part 2 of building Messi. So, this is the front of him. It turned out really well. I added a little 10 to his pants there, which just really brings out the detail. Today we're going to be doing the back of him. So we're doing the back of the shorts and the back of the torso. Back of the torso is the main thing we're working on. So you can see I've started with my lines, which I'm going to fill in with blue for the stripe on the back of his jersey in blue. So I'll do little thin slits over here of blue and then red in the other slot. You can see I'm using a bigger blob to fill in the space faster, but still it's like perfect size to fit right in between the lines. It's kind of like using a paintbrush, just perfect for the spot you're using. Now we're going to do the little blue lines on the sides of his jersey. So it's kind of like, it's almost like the front. It's like almost exactly the front, just it's got 10 and Messi's name on it instead, the symbol and stuff. So yeah, I might also make Messi jersey for Argentina. I'm making FC Barcelona's one of the many Messi jerseys on FC Barcelona. One of the more common ones I'm doing. Okay, so like that. That went a bit too far, so I'll just do some red in between there. So we're doing pretty well on the back. Oh my gosh, Lily! So I'm doing pretty well on the back of this jersey here. I'm filling in the red spot right now. It's pretty hard when you've got just like a little tiny space to fill in. I kind of messed up there. So I'm gonna put some blue over that with this other push pin. So I'm gonna do the blue over the red where the red went too far. So I'm gonna make this a bit thicker, this blue stripe in front. Okay, so now I can continue with my red. I kind of want a bit skinnier, so I'm gonna use this one to make those spaces easier to fill in. So I have done most of the back of his jersey. Now all we have to do is do the final details. Then we'll be done with the back of his jersey, and then we'll just have to do the back of his shorts. Wait for this to dry, just because I don't want to screw up the rest of the painting by doing the yellow markings of the 10. So I'm going to let this dry, then I will finish up the rest of it. Okay, so this is dried enough now. I have put it on a little stand, so it's easier for me to move around without touching the paint. So yeah, let's make the 10 on his jersey. There's a little outline kind of around the 10, but I'm just doing just solid 10, just to make it a bit easier. So I'm going to be painting the 10 on the red right now. So I'm doing the 1 right now. So I'm trying to make this thick enough, it all even. So we're gonna need a bit more paint than usual just because we're doing overlapping here. As you can see, I'm working on the 1. So I've got the 1. I'm gonna do the little down slope there. I'm gonna make that a bit thicker. Okay, now let's make the 0. So, gonna make this pretty round at the top. It's kind of like cutting into the other stuff I've done. So I'm trying to do it as light as possible without cutting into it. Because that just scratches up the other work we've done. Trying to make these corners as round as possible while using the brush I'm using is kind of tricky to do this. You can try this at home. You can follow along or make your own in maybe a different jersey color, or I don't know. You can make your own soccer player. You don't even have to make a soccer player. I'm just making a soccer player because Messi is my favorite soccer player. So we've got the 10. So now I'm gonna do the Messi's name up above. This part might be a bit tricky. So I'm gonna use a bit finer point here. Just gotta do this. All right, so it's kind of at a curved, but I'm just gonna do it. This is pretty tricky. Yeah, I'm cutting into the base, but I don't want to use too much paint or I'll run out of space. Okay, check in with you in a minute. I'll check in just a few minutes. I just gotta concentrate a bit more on this. I didn't really write his name. I just did a bit of like yellow scribble just because it was really hard to, so I just kind of did that. So it still looks really good, but I just had to change it up a little. So that's how the back of the jersey turns out. There's a little bit of writing underneath it in white, so I'm just gonna add that really quick. I mean, white is kind of getting dried up. Yellow, making it look like egg. Okay, we don't want this to look like egg on the back of Messi's jersey. That'd be weird. I'm just gonna do a little white line. Okay, that looks good. So we have finished the back of Messi's jersey. So now we've got the back of Messi's jersey done, as well as the front. This is my very first painted custom, so it's turning out much better than I expected it to. So now let's do the rest of the shorts. I've kind of got to do the side here, but I just have to do one side to do it. Part 3 we'll be doing mainly the sides of Messi, including the arms. So I'm just going to do a bit of the side in this video here. So I'm going to do that line exactly where it lines up. Cross. It's a bit tricky, but you just got to line it up and then it'll be good. Okay. So now I can do this around the entire thing. I'm going to stop at that side just because I'm going to do the rest of the sides in another video. but I don't know. So now we've got line here. So I'm gonna do this exactly the same line right here. I'm just gonna jump a bit so I don't put it inside that crack too much. So we're just gonna go across like so. Don't want to damage the brick itself by cutting into it, so I'm using like a little chin of my brush, which isn't even like really touching the metal part. So now I'm just gonna fill in this spot. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do those holes up here, but I will figure out how I will do that. So I'm just gonna fill this in. Okay, so I decided to just do the sides of the legs. I've threaded the cleats. As you can see, I'm drawing my line. So I'm gonna time lapse the rest of me doing the legs. So let's speed things up. Okay, so the legs are finished. They turned out pretty nice. As you can see, the cleats turned out perfect. And then the shorts also turned out quite well. So we have finished the main part of Messi. Next in the next video, I'll do the arms of him, and maybe I'll fill in that space there with like dark blue, and then make the little short sleeve on the arm be red. But it turned out quite well. The 10 turned out great. The 10's backwards for you, I believe, right now. But it's not backwards for me. It turned out really well. I think this Messi is coming along great. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.